Hello, important session in which we will be discussing some more important questions and concepts for our upcoming CSIR net physics exam and the gate physics exam. So I hope each and everything what we will be talking about will be getting clear to you. And if in case you will still be having any doubt anywhere, guys, you can surely let me know about it, and we will be doing the discussion uh, in the session today. Okay, so before that I want to show you some important slides, but before that I am just gonna quickly check out that is everything fine and everything is working properly or not. I think everything is fine now, and we are ready to start the discussion then. So actually, guys, today in the session we will be taking the important questions and the concepts, and I'm going to tell you about the latest offer which is going on Unacademy, as per which you will be able to save more and you will be able to get the discount in the total subscription amount. Also, guys, if we are going to talk about the latest offer, so just to grab it or to get the discount in the total subscription amount, you just need to use and apply the code that is Anjali A Live as mentioned here on the screen. So by using and by applying this code, you will be able to get the discount in the total subscription amount. You can even share this information with your friends, as it is just a limited time offer, so it is valid till 31st July. Now I'm going to show you the slide which will be making it clear to you that what are the benefits you will get if you will be taking the Unacademy Plus, Iconic or the Lite subscription. So all the details about it have been shown here on the screen. Also, guys, if you will be taking the Unacademy Plus or the Iconic subscription, even now the important notes are available on the Unacademy Learning app. So they will be helping you even to take your preparation to the next level, along with the well structured and well planned courses by the top educators we are going to have on Unacademy. Also, guys, whenever you will proceed further to take the subscription, you can use and apply the code Anjali A Live to get the discount in the total subscription amount. Okay, now I will be showing you few more slides and we are ready to start the discussion about the most important questions and the concepts we will be taking today in this session. So here we are going to have the another slide related to the Unacademy Learning app. This is about the session. Here few details about me, and here we are having the information about the community feature which is available on the Unacademy Learning app, where you will be able to get the latest updates and you will get to know about the new courses. So I hope each and everything will be clear to everyone now, guys. So we are ready to start the discussion in this session today. Basically, today we will be talking about the important questions and the concepts from different subjects, whatever are the most important questions and from where there are great chances that you can expect the questions in the exam. Even along with the question discussion, we will also be talking about the concepts involved in it, okay, how you have to solve that question. So all these things we will be discussing in the session. Now let me just give you the first question first of all, and then we will be going ahead with the other questions as well. So here is your first question, which is going to be something related to formula part as well, because it will be helping you to know about the correct formulae. Okay, so I'm going to write the details about it, and let's see how many of you already know about the answer, or if you don't know, you will get to know after the discussion. Consider the propagation of electromagnetic waves in a linear homogeneous and isotropic material medium with electric permittivity epsilon and magnetic permeability mu. For a plane wave, of angular frequency omega, and propagation vector k, propagating in the medium, Maxwell's equations reduced to. Options are k dot E is equal to 0. Now these equations are important. So if you know that which one is correct, that's great. But if you don't know, you need to know about it, because sometimes these equations can even help you to get your final answer for any question. And to by using this equation, like you can even find whatever they are asking you to find, even if sometimes there are some unknown parameters. Okay, so that becomes easy. This is omega, mu and E. Second option is k dot E is equal to 0, k dot H is equal to 0, k cross E is equal to negative omega epsilon vector H, k cross H is equal to omega mu vector E. Also, after that, in option C, we are having the information given like k dot E is equal to 0, k dot H is equal to 0, k cross E is equal to negative omega mu H, k cross H is equal to omega epsilon E, and option D says k dot E is equal to 0, k dot H is equal to 0, k cross E is equal to omega mu vector H, and the next one is k cross H is equal to negative omega epsilon vector E. Now we just have to identify that what is that option in which all the equations they have mentioned, the conditions they have given us, will be the correct one. Okay, that's what we need to identify. So actually guys, in this case, if you will see, first of all you have to consider the given condition. So they have mentioned, consider the propagation of electromagnetic waves in a linear, homogeneous and isotropic material medium with electric permittivity and the magnetic permeability epsilon and mu respectively, for a plane wave of angular frequency omega and the propagation vector k propagating in the medium, Maxwell's equations reduce to. So what will be the new Maxwell's equations for the given condition? If you are not familiar with it, you need to know about this thing, that your Maxwell's equations are going to be k dot E, the propagation vector k, if you will take its dot product with the electric field, it will be giving you the value equal to 0, right? Other one is when you will take its dot product with H, that will give you 0 as well. When you will take its cross product with E, like the k cross product with E, so it will give you omega mu vector H. Okay, when you will take the H cross product with k, like k cross H, when you will find, so negative omega epsilon and vector E. So excuse me, these equations are going to be very much important, like you need to know about them. And to solve the question, sometimes we just directly use these equations and the answer for the question we get. So this was more about the formula, but not just one, four different formulae have been mentioned in the options. For someone who was not familiar with it, I think it can be very much helpful. Okay, so you can make a note of these equations too. It will be helping you to solve the questions. If it is clear, guys, I'm going to take one more question from the EMT section itself, and then we will go ahead for more questions. So here it is. A plane electromagnetic wave has the magnetic field given by that's going to be vector B as a function of x, y, z and t equal to b naught sine x plus y k over root 2 plus omega t vector k cap, where k is the wave number. So they can also mention it's a wave vector, but okay, they're talking about this k, so they have just specified what k is representing there. So k is the wave number, and I, j and k, as we already know, these are the unit vectors, or we can mention are the Cartesian unit vectors. In x, y and z directions. Other than this, you also had some more information like what you need to find. That's what we are going to mention now. So the electric field vector E as a function of x, y, z and t corresponding to the above wave is given by. Options are C B naught sine x plus y k over root 2 plus omega t. The next we are going to have the unit vectors mentioned here as I minus j cap divided by square root 2. The next one we are going to have is CB naught sine x plus y k divided by root 2 plus omega t I plus j cap divided by root 2. Next we are going to have is CB naught sine x plus y k over root 2 plus omega t, and that's going to have the I cap there. Next is CB naught sine x plus y k divided by root 2 plus omega t and j cap. So here they have given you the magnetic field expression and they are asking you to find the electric field. Just see that what steps you are considering you will be taking to find it. Do you know the direct formula for this case, or you don't know about it? If you don't know, I'll be helping you to solve for this electric field here. But if you already know, that's great, you can try it. Okay, otherwise I'm going to talk about the formula and the steps you have to take to solve it. So actually guys, it's going to be A plane electromagnetic wave has the magnetic field given by vector B. The expression for vector B is given to us, where k is the wave number and I, j and k are the Cartesian unit vectors in x, y and z directions respectively. So the electric field you have to find. Now get to know one thing, that your electric field, how it is related to the magnetic field. So that is going to be electric field is equal to negative C over K, K cross B. That's what we are gonna have. Okay. So basically now you have to identify what is the K, the propagation wave vector you will have. So actually here we are gonna have K dot R minus omega t. So this is the omega t relation and this is K dot R. So when you are going to consider it, the R is basically the position vector, which is xi cap plus yj cap. Other than that, whatever vector term you can have, that will be representing the k value. So like k I cap plus k j cap divided by root 2. So that's vector k and k multiplied with it. So that's what? That's going to be k I cap plus k j cap divided by root 2. Now your formula for the electric field by relating it with the magnetic field, I think I have already written here. So that's the formula you are going to have, right? So in this case, you already know what is vector k, what is vector b. It's already given. This is the magnitude of k and this is going to be your speed of light. So when you are going to take the cross product of k with b, what you will have? So k with b means k is going to have I cap and j cap in it, and the b is just having k cap, right? So that means if I will consider I with k, the cross product, so I cross k, right? And the other one will be j cross k. So I cross k and j cross k. These two cross products you will have, right? So in this case, what will happen? The I cross k will give you what? I, j, k. So it's not in, is it in sequence? So after k we will have I, no. So it will give you negative j. And here if you will consider j and k, so it will give you positive I. So that's just about the cross product. So I negative j. Where it is? It's only in option A. Can you see that? Like the other options are having different vectors. So that means your option A is the correct option and all other options are incorrect. So even without solving it completely, just by getting an idea about what will be the vector we will have in that particular expression, that's how we can get the answer. So that's going to be option A, which is the correct one. Still, if there is anybody having any doubt in this part, you can just mention it, let me know about it, we can talk about that thing, guys. But if it is clear, I'm gonna give you the second part for the same question, like the same question but it's second part. So that's going to be the average pointing vector is given by options are C b naught square over 2 mu naught I cap minus j cap divided by root 2 minus C b naught square over 2 mu naught I cap minus j cap divided by root 2. Option C is C b naught square over 2 mu naught. Next thing is I cap plus j cap divided by root 2. And option D is negative C b naught square divided by 2 mu naught I cap plus j cap divided by root 2. Okay. So basically in this case, what will happen? In this case, you have to consider the average pointing vector. So average pointing vector, is it related to electric and magnetic field? Yes, it is. But can you even find it with one of the expressions, just either the electric field or the magnetic field? Yes, you can even do that. But if you will observe the options, so options are having the B in it, right? The B expression. So if you know about it, it's simply going to be the, like if you will write it in terms of the like the magnetic field, so its formula you will have is CB square over 2 mu naught. Okay, so if you are gonna consider this part and you have to find the average of pointing vectors, so average of it means just this value will be giving you half. The average of sine square term will be giving you half. So rest you will have B naught square Okay, half from this, so that will be giving you 1 over 2 part from there, and rest you will have the other things as it is, like the directions you had or the magnetic field value you had, so that will remain same. And that's going to consider or give you the right answer. That's going to be option D. Just look at this part. Or even if you will consider E cross B, because you have already got it, okay, because you know you can write the Poynting vector in terms of electric and magnetic field both. So if you're going to use that formula, that will be giving you the answer, like you have got the cross product of K and B already, okay, here. So that is giving you the vector, that is electric field, right? So now for finding the Poynting vector, you have to take the cross product of those two. Means whatever vectors you got from here and whatever vector you are having in B. So already you got this vector for the electric field and this is what you are having in B. So that's how when you will simplify these two cross product, you can again identify your answer with just the vectors. But if you will see in this case, we are having two different uh, vector quantities present. So that means we have to solve it completely, not just with the vector quantity, we will be able to get the answer. Okay, so I hope you are gonna get that point, guys. But still, if you are gonna have doubt, you can surely let me know about it. But if I'm gonna observe it, it is I minus j cap. This one is negative I cap plus j cap. This one is I plus j. This one is negative I, negative j. Oh, so all are different. Means even if you will take just the cross product of E and B and you are gonna identify the vector which is here. So let's do that part. E we had this and B we had the K, right? So I cross K, what we will have from here, that's going to be negative J. And then J cross K, what it will give you, that's going to be I. So negative I already. Okay, so that's how if you are going to consider which option is giving you the same answer, that's option D. So that will be your right answer then, because they have taken root 2 just because of the magnitude of the vector you had here, that is I cap plus j cap. So this is how you have to proceed further to get your answer for any such case. You can see mostly just the vectors are gonna help us to get the final answer. Now I'll be giving you the next one, but in case if you are still having any confusion or doubt regarding this, you can just mention it in the comments. So I'm gonna mention the next question, guys. Now we will take the question from the different subject, like classical mechanics. Okay, let's consider this one. The Hamiltonian of a simple pendulum consisting of a mass m attached to a massless string of length L is h is equal to p theta square divided by 2ml square plus mgl 1 minus cos theta. If L denotes the Lagrangian, the capital L. The value of dl by dt is options are negative 2g by L p theta sine theta. The second one is negative g by L p theta sine 2 theta. Next one is g by L p theta cos theta. And the next one is LP theta square cos theta. That's what you are gonna have. Now, in this case, what we have to do, I'm just quickly gonna tell you about the steps you have to follow. But if you already know what you have to do and what steps you can consider to get the answer, what you can do, you can start working on it, and as you will get the final answer, you can just mention it, what is the right answer according to you. Otherwise, if you need some help, so I'm gonna continue the discussion. So basically guys, the Hamiltonian is already given to you, which is p theta square over 2ml square plus mgl1 minus cos theta. If I will talk about the next thing, that's going to be the Lagrangian. That is, Hamiltonian is kinetic energy plus potential energy, and also Hamiltonian is a function of generalized coordinate, generalized momentum, and time t, right? So here you can see Hamiltonian is given as a function of p theta and theta itself, which means generalized coordinate theta and the generalized momentum p theta. If I will talk about the Lagrangian, that is going to be the function of generalized coordinate, generalized velocity, which will be theta dot, okay, theta dot, and time t if it is there. Now in that case, Hamiltonian, as we have talked about, is t plus v, but Lagrangian is t minus v. So what I'll do, I'll be using the trick here, while we can also use this formula, which is L is equal to summation over I qi dot pi minus that's going to be your Hamiltonian, right? So we can also use this equation. That's the detailed approach to find it. But if I'm going to talk about the trick, so what it is, it's going to be that the kinetic energy of Hamiltonian you have to compare with half like p square over 2m. So when you are considering its kinetic energy as p square over 2m, what you are getting at place of m? You are getting ml square, right? So p square over 2m. Now, if I will talk about the Lagrangian, it should be half mv square. So ml square and theta dot square. Other than this, if I will talk about negative sign and the potential energy, you have to write there, which is mgl1 minus cos theta. So let's write it as it is. We don't have to make any changes in that part. Now, once you have considered this, guys, what next? So you got the Lagrangian, but you have to find the dl by dt, which is the total time derivative of Lagrangian, which is Poisson bracket of L with h you have to consider plus delta L over delta t, then you have to write. So if I'm going to consider that part, here the Poisson bracket basically we simplify as, and the second term will be 0 because the L is not a function of time. So delta L over delta t will be 0. When you are going to consider the Poisson bracket of L with h, that will be delta L over delta p theta. Okay, firstly we differentiate with respect to what? The coordinate. So just simply theta, and then delta h over delta p theta, next minus delta L over delta p theta, and delta h over delta theta. That's what we will consider, right? In this case, what will happen? If we will talk about the next thing we have to consider here, that's just you have to differentiate L with respect to theta. That's simple and easy. We will just differentiate this term. Delta h over delta p theta, it's even easy because we already have the p theta mentioned here. But what about delta L over delta p theta? So L doesn't have p theta in it. What we will do now? So we already know that the if I will talk about the Lagrangian, like for the Lagrangian case, how the generalized momentum is related to the generalized velocity. So that's going to be p theta is equal to delta L over delta theta dot. So when you will consider it, it's going to give you ml square theta dot. So p theta is equal to ml square theta dot. But what about the theta dot value? That is p theta over ml square. So when you will plug it in here at place of theta dot, what you will get? That's going to be p theta square over ml square, because one of the ml square will get cancelled out. After having the theta dot square, you will take its square as well, but it will get cancelled out, the one value. So only 1 ml square will be remaining in the denominator. So that's going to give you p theta square over 2 ml square, which is same as the kinetic energy of this Hamiltonian. Okay, so whenever you have to differentiate with respect to p theta for Lagrangian part, you are going to do that thing, like firstly put the value of theta dot, then do the differentiation. You can't say it is 0, right? And then for delta h over delta theta, it's the same thing. You already have the cos theta here. You can simply do the differentiation for this part. When you will simplify it this way, you are going to get your right answer to be option A. So I have already told you what values you have to plug in. It's the partial differentiation, so simply you will be able to differentiate it and get your answer. But still, if there is anybody having any doubt, something you are not going to get or understand, tell me, we will be talking about that. But if everything is clear, then that's great. I will be giving you the next question. So the next question we will consider will be again from classical mechanics, and the question is this one. A particle of unit mass moves in the xy plane in such a way that x dot t is equal to yt and y dot t is equal to negative xt. We can conclude that it is in a conservative force field which can be derived from the potential the options are half x square plus y square. Next one is half x square minus y square. Next one is x plus y. Next one is x minus y. Okay, that's what we are gonna have. So in this case, what will happen? In this case, you have to consider that what is the correct expression for potential, but how you will identify it. So in that situation, what you have to do, you will try to create or construct the form of the equation of motion. But how it can be done? So for that, you can see it's here, the condition they have given you, and the other condition they have given you is this. So you will differentiate it with respect to t, and that's giving you x double dot is equal to y dot. But you already know y dot is negative x, so you will just plug it in its value, and that will give you the equation like this after plugging in the value of y dot. If you will differentiate the second equation once again, that will give you y double dot minus x dot is there, negative x dot on the other side. So when you will plug in its value, it will give you plus y is equal to 0 from here. Okay, so basically you got the two equations, one in terms of x, another one in terms of y, and these are your equations of motion. So once you have got it, in that case, what you have to do, you are just going to consider your Lagrangian. What is that? That's simply going to be L is equal to kinetic energy minus potential energy. So if I'm going to consider the mass, I have to take unit mass. So half x dot square plus half y dot square, and the option, let's say I'm taking as option A here, because I want to consider that if I'm taking this as the Lagrangian, will I be able to get the same equation of motion from this expression of Lagrangian as I have here, okay, from the given information in the question. So if it will give us the same equations of motion, that means our option A is correct. And in this case, I think you are just going to get your right answer with the option A itself. So it becomes easy and less time taking, because after that you will not have to check out the other options. But if in case you find like if you are plugging in the value of option A in the Lagrangian as a potential, but it's still not giving you the equation of motion same as what we have got in any other question, here it will give you. Okay, so that's your right answer. So in that case you have to check out for the other options too, one by one, and next option you have to keep on checking. So that's how you will be able to consider these things, guys. You can tell me still if you are gonna find like no, it's not getting clear or there is some doubt, so you can surely mention it and we will try to consider it. But if it is clear, that's great. I'm gonna give you the next question then. Let's have some other question. Okay, let's take it from the other subject now. Let's consider mathematical physics. So our next question is, I'll be writing it, guys. Should I take something quite easy? No. Okay, let's consider this one. Consider n by n where n is greater than 1 matrix A in which Aij is the product of the indices I and J. Namely, Aij is equal to Ij. Namely, Aij is equal to Ij. The matrix A options are has one degenerate eigenvalue, with degeneracy n-1, second option is has two degenerate eigenvalues, with degeneracies 2 and n-2. Option C is has one degenerate eigenvalue with degeneracy n, and option D is does not have any degenerate eigenvalue. So basically, guys, you can also have any other question except this one, that can ask you about like other type of questions related things too. So you have to follow the similar kind of approach. So from here you can get the idea that what needs to be done and how it can be solved. Okay, so in this situation guys, they have given you the condition: consider an n by n matrix A in which aij is the product of the indices I and j, namely aij is equal to ij. The matrix A has one degenerate eigenvalue with degeneracy n minus 1, has two degenerate eigenvalues with degeneracies 2 and n minus 2, or any of these. So basically when you will form the type of matrix, so I'm going to take the example of 3 by 3 matrix. Why? They have given us the condition n should be greater than 1, and then we have to form the matrix in such a way that its elements are going to be the product of indices. So first row, first column, 1 times 1, that is 1, 1 times 2, first row, second column, that is 2, 1 times 3, that is 3, 2 times 1, second row, first column, 2, 2 times 2, that's 4, 2 times 3, that's 6, 3 times 1, that's 3, 3 times 2, that's 6, 3 times 3, that's 9. So this is the type of matrix you will have if you are taking the example of 3 by 3 order matrix. In this situation, if we are going to consider multiply with 2 or multiply with 3, same way here, multiply with 2, multiply with 3, so what will happen? So from here you can easily get that the rows and the columns are the scalar multiple of particular row and the particular column for such kind of matrix. Even if you will take just any other example, whether it's going to be 2 by 2, 4 by 4 or any other example, you will find that, oh, it's gonna get satisfied. So in that situation, what will happen? Your eigenvalues will be always equal to the trace and the other will be 0 0 0. So just one non-zero eigenvalue you will have, which will be equal to the trace. Okay, so in this situation, what is the trace? Trace is basically the sum of principal diagonal elements, so which are 9, 4 and 1. That's going to give you 14 and 0 0 0. So that's 14 comma 0 0. So one of the eigenvalues is degenerate 1. So if I have taken the order of the matrix 3 by 3, so I'm getting the order of the or the degeneracy of the you can say eigenvalue which is degenerate as 2, which is 3 minus 1, means n minus 1, while the other eigenvalue we have is non-degenerate. So we get the one degenerate eigenvalue which is going to have the degeneracy n minus 2, okay, and the other one is non-degenerate one. So has one degenerate eigenvalue with this? And no. Has one degenerate does not have any degenerate eigenvalue? No. Has one degenerate eigenvalue with degeneracy n minus 1? Yes, it's correct. So option A is the correct one. Please tell me, is that clear to everyone or no? If in case there is anybody having any doubt, you can just simply mention it and let me know about it. We will consider that part. But if it is clear, I'm going to write the next question now. So that is, if C is the contour defined by that's going to be mod z is equal to 1 over 2, the value of the integral that's going to be integration over the closed contour C dz over sine square z is, options are infinity, 2 pi iota, 0, or is it going to be pi iota? So you have to consider what is the right answer for this question. So basically guys, for this one, this is related to contour integration. Okay, so the type of contour they have given is a circle whose center is at the origin and the radius 1 over 2. Okay, that is 0.5. So the value of the integral you have to find. In this case, you have to firstly write the sine z series expansion. When you will write the sine z series expansion, you need to know that it is going to be z minus z cube over factorial 3 plus z to the power 5 over factorial 5 plus minus sign, because alternate signs we take here, plus minus. Okay, now in this case, what will happen when you will plug in the value of sine z as a series here? You will find like you are gonna take the z common from the series, so it always have a square on it. And also the pole you will have is z is equal to 0, which is the only pole which will be lying within this contour. So in that situation, the coefficient of 1 over t, that is t is z minus pole. So is it possible? Here it is simply z is equal to t, you are gonna get. So is it possible here to get the coefficient of 1 over t or 1 over z? So the answer is no, we can't have it. Why? Because we are having the overall denominator square. So that's not allowing us to get just 1 over z. We will always have 1 over z square. So that means the coefficient of 1 over t is 0. So we are having the answer 2 pi iota into sum of residue, which says 0. So that's going to be our option C, which is the correct one. Please tell me if in case there is anybody having any doubt, we can consider it then. But if it is clear, that's great. We will be taking the next question. So if you have any doubt and you want to ask something, you can just mention it. Now I will be taking the questions from quantum mechanics. Which one we should consider? Let me just tell you which one I'm gonna give you right now. So we will be considering this question, guys. It's the motion of a particle of mass m in one dimension is described by the Hamiltonian h is equal to p square over 2m plus half m omega square x square plus lambda x. What is the difference between the quantized energies of the first two levels? In the following, this notation is the representation value, is the expectation value of, it is going to represent the expectation value of x in the ground state. Options are h cut omega minus lambda x. Next one is h cut omega plus lambda x. Next one is h cut omega plus lambda square over 2m omega square. Next one is h cut omega. So try considering the steps for this one. Otherwise, I'm going to quickly tell you about this, that how you will proceed further. So this question can be solved in different ways. Like you can either relate the perturbation theory concept here, or you can relate the normal way like what I'll talk about right now for solving this question. So whatever you think like will be easy for you to consider and you want to use, you can. Even we are having more such type of questions in the previous years, guys, related to this question which have been asked in the previous years. So you should know about this approach, that how you will work on it. Okay, let me just tell you. So basically, the motion of a particle of mass m in one dimension is described by this Hamiltonian. So here, p square over 2m is exact expression of kinetic energy of Hamiltonian. But the rest of the expression you can see, what is that? That is simply going to be the potential energy. But its form is what? That's half m. So if I'm going to take the half m omega square common from that expression, what I will have? X square plus lambda x divided by, okay, 2 will also be there after taking this term common, and divided by m omega square, right? So what I'm going to do, I will be comparing that bracket part as a square plus 2ab. That's going to be 2. A is what and b is what? So a is exactly just the x square, you have taken a square, so a is just x, and b is what? That's going to be 2 lambda over m omega square, right? So in this situation, what will happen? You will be trying to make it the complete square by adding and subtracting. So this is 2ab. I think I have also mentioned that too. So b is simply lambda over m omega square. So what you will do, you will add this term square and you will subtract this term square to make it the complete square within the bracket. So when you will do that, let me just clearly show you here. It will become v is equal to half m omega square x square plus 2 lambda, not lambda, we had it, yeah, 2 lambda x over m omega square. Okay, then plus the other thing we had is lambda divided by m omega square whole square added and subtracted from this expression. So when you have considered it, it is your a square plus 2ab plus b square, which is a plus b whole square. So you will be just writing it as x plus lambda over m omega square whole square, right? Now in this case, what will happen? In this case, here you will just have the term after simplifying it as half m omega square. I'm taking this value as capital X. So capital X square minus, now when you will multiply this with this, one of the m omega squares will get cancelled out. So you will just have lambda square over 2m omega square. Now you can see in this term you don't have x, but in the first term you had the x, right? So for this one, the energy will be n plus half h cut omega, because that is same as the harmonic oscillator expression of potential. But this one is a constant, so we will not have to write any expression for this. We will keep it as it is. So now in this case, what you will be doing, you want to get the difference between the energies, okay? Difference between the energies of the first two levels basically. So that is ground state and the first excited state. For ground state, you will plug in 0 here. For first excited state, you will plug in 1 here. So that will give you half h cut omega and 3 by 2 h cut omega, and this will remain same. When you will take their difference, then 3 by 2 minus half, that is 1 h cut omega. That's your option D, which is the correct one. Please tell me if in case there is anybody having any doubt, we can talk about it. Otherwise, that's the way you have to solve it, and you are getting option D to be the correct one. Tell me guys, if you have any question, query or doubt, we can consider it, but if it is clear, that's great. I'll be giving you the next question. I'm just going to write it, but if you have any doubt in this part till that point of time, you can just ask it. Let's take this one. Consider the two lowest normalized energy eigenfunctions two lowest normalized energy eigenfunctions psi naught x and psi 1 x of a one-dimensional system. They satisfy psi naught x is equal to psi naught star x and psi 1 x is equal to alpha d psi naught over dx, where alpha is a real constant. The expectation value of the momentum operator in the state psi 1 is options are negative h squared over alpha square, 0, h squared over alpha square, or 2h squared over alpha square. So guys, for this case, if you know what will be the right answer, you can just mention it in the comments, but if you don't know, I'll let you know then. So basically here they have given you the wave function psi naught x, okay, and they are saying it is equal to the complex conjugate of that wave function. So that is psi naught x is equal to psi naught star x. So in that case, what will happen? It means that it is a real wave function. So whenever we are going to have any function which is equal to its complex conjugate value, it means it's a real wave function. When it is real wave function, now you can see they have further given us psi 1 x value and they are saying alpha is real here, while we have the other term as d psi naught over dx, where psi naught is also real. So in that situation, what will happen? In this situation, you will say, okay, psi 1 is also a real function. Why? Because your alpha and psi naught both are real and psi 1 is written with the help of alpha and psi naught. So this is how you got that you have to find the expectation value of momentum corresponding to the real wave function, and get to know one thing, that the expectation value of momentum corresponding to any real wave function is what? It's simply going to be 0. So that's how you are simply gonna get your final answer. That is option B, which is the correct one. Get to know one thing, that is the expectation value of momentum corresponding to any real wave function is what? It's 0. Okay, so that's how you are gonna get your option B to be the correct one. Okay, if in case still there is anybody having any doubt, just let me know, we'll talk about it. But if it is clear, that's great. We will be taking the other question now from thermodynamics and statistical physics part, guys. Okay, so yeah. So the question we will consider is this one. A Carnot cycle operates as a heat engine between two bodies of equal heat capacity until their temperatures become equal if the initial temperatures of the bodies are T1 and T2 respectively, and T1 is greater than T2, then their common final temperature is temperature is options are okay. Now, in this case, what you have to do, if you know what you have to consider and what you have to do to solve it, you can just mention the right answer if you're gonna get that, guys. But if no, I'm gonna tell you what you have to do and how you will be proceeding further to get the answer. So actually, here they have given you a Carnot cycle operates as a heat engine between two bodies of equal heat capacity until their temperatures become equal. So first of all, when they have given you the information about the Carnot cycle, it means it's the what kind of system? Everybody knows about it. It's reversible, right? So for the reversible system, if we will talk about the change in entropy, so what is that? That's going to be zero. So in this situation, what you have to do, you have to consider the uh, total entropy, change in entropy, okay, and then equate it with 0 to get the final temperature. So basically for the first one, like for the source and sink, like you know, T1 is greater than T2 here, so the greater temperature and the lower temperature both you are having, and finally they become like they come to equilibrium and their temperatures become same or equal. So in that situation, it's going to be ds1 is equal to integration T1 to Tf. Then we are going to have dt over T. That's going to give you log Tf over T1. Okay, same way for the second case, when you had the initial temperature T2, it will give you integration T2 to Tf and dt over T, which will give you, this is the change in entropy we are finding for both. Okay, now it will give you log Tf over T2. Now when you are going to consider the sum of the change in entropy, that means the total change in entropy for the complete system, it will simply be ds1 plus ds2. When you will add it, it will give you log this plus log this. Now you know log m plus log n when you write, when it is log m multiplied with n. So that is Tf square over T1 T2. That is equal to what? Total change in entropy is equal to 0. So it is simply going to be Tf square over T1 T2 is equal to 1. Because when you will remove the log from the other side, it will give you e to the power 0. That is 1. And that's how you are going to get Tf is equal to square root T1 T2. And that's your final answer. What it is? It's option C. So option C is the correct one here. Okay. Now let's take the next question. But still, if you're gonna have any doubt in this one, You can just ask it, you can mention your doubt in the comments, we will talk about that part. But if it is clear, that's great, great, great. So this is how, guys, when you keep on working on different type of questions, you consider them. They help you to understand what needs to be done in a specific case. If there is this type of question or something related to that, you will have some ideas that, okay, this is what I can do, or that's how you can proceed, right? Let me just take the next question. Let's take this one. Mostly the questions we are considering are from the previous years. So whatever we are going to consider, we are discussing. You can expect similar kind of questions in the upcoming exams too. This is the slide having the information about the latest offer in it, guys. So if you want to take your subscription, you can use and apply the code Anjali Live when you will proceed further to take the subscription, and you will get the discount in the total subscription amount that way. Also, guys, the offer is just valid till 31st July. So in that case, if you don't want to miss it, take your subscription today. Okay. Also, if there is any of your friend like who wants to take the subscription and don't want to miss it, share this information with them too. Okay, let's just start writing here. So your next question is, consider a system of 3 spins S1, S2 and S3, each of which can take values +1 and -1. The energy of the system is given by E is equal to -J S1 S2 plus S2 S3 plus S3 S1, where J is a positive constant. The minimum energy and the corresponding number of a spin configuration are. Options are J and 1, -3J and 1, -3J and 2. Option D is -6J and 2. And let's consider it, guys. So basically in this case they have given, consider a system of 3 spins S1, S2 and S3, each of which can take values +1 and -1, and then they have given the energy expression. So what we have to do, we have the 3 spins, so we have to make all the combinations corresponding to them. So S1, S2, S3, if only +1 and -1 are the allowed values for these cases, it's going to be this way. Okay, and the next you will have is -1 2 times, +1 2 times, -1 +1 +1, alternate again, negative positive, negative positive, negative positive, negative positive. Now you have to consider the energy, means you have to just plug in the values you had like in this expression. So plug in the value of S1, S2, S3 and get the value of the energy. So let's consider, it's -J S1, S2 plus S2, S3 plus S3, S1, that's it. In this case, what will happen? That's going to be +1, +1, +1. That's -3J. Same way you will solve for this. It will be giving you plus, minus. That's cancelled out. Then again minus. Okay, so negative, negative, positive. That's going to be just J. Now next one, that's going to be negative, negative, positive. That's again J. Then here negative, positive, negative. So negative, positive, negative. That's again J. Negative, positive, negative. That's again J. Negative, negative, positive. That's again J. Positive, negative, negative. So again J. And this one, it's -3J once again. So actually you got -3J, and how many times you got it? You got it 2 times. -3J is the minimum energy you had, and that's what they have asked for. So -3J, and the degeneracy for it is 2. So that's your option C, which is the correct answer. Hence, that's what you have to do. Just write the configuration and you are simply going to get the answer. If in case there is still anybody having any doubt, just mention it, guys. We will be talking about it. But if it is clear, I'll be giving you the next question now. Let's consider this one. Now we are going to start electronics. Consider the open circuit. Shown in the figure. If the input is a sinusoidal wave, then Vi is equal to 5 sine 1000 t. Then the amplitude of the output that's going to be V output, V naught is options are, and even I'll just draw the circuit. 5/2, 5 5√2 divided by 2, 5√2, negative, positive, one K, that's kilo ohm. Vi. Next is this as a capacitor. It's 1 microfarad. also you had here a resistance which is having its value as 1k, and it is grounded. So in this case, guys, you have to consider what output will be. So actually, for such kind of circuits, what we do, we consider the gain, that is the voltage gain. So when you're going to consider the voltage gain, what you have to do, firstly you need to identify the circuit, what kind of circuit it is. Is it like the inverting amplifier, non-inverting amplifier, or what it is? Okay, so you have to consider that part. Once you're going to consider that, what next? The next thing is you have to consider its corresponding gain expression. So we are going to talk about it, since here the input has been provided to the negative input terminal and even the feedback has been provided on the negative input terminal. So that means it's inverting amplifier. So if it is an inverting amplifier, in that case the gain formula is V naught over Vi is equal to minus Rf over Rin. If there is someone who doesn't know about it but they are confident about the KVL and KCL, so that will be helping you to get your final gain expression. Okay, so even just by using the KVL and KCL, you can get your final answer too. Now guys, if I'm going to talk about the next thing here, what is your feedback resistance? In the feedback path, you are going to have one capacitor and one resistance. So to simplify it, and both are present in parallel. So 1 over j omega c. Omega is what? Is the omega given to you? I think 1000 t is written here, so that is omega t. So omega is 10 to the power 3. J omega c. C is the capacitance, which is going to be what? 1 microfarad. So 10 to the power negative 6, right? Now, next thing is plus 1 over R. R is what? That's going to be 1k, which is 10 to the power 3. So this is 1 over R, that is you are going to find the equivalent resistance for the feedback resistance, and that's it. You will be getting your answer. So for not just answer, but just the feedback resistance from this. So it's going to be J plus 1 divided by 10 to the power 3 you will have, and that's your what? That is your 1 over RF. Is it 1 over RF? Yes. So what you will have to do now, you have to consider RF, which is 10 to the power 3 divided by J plus 1. Okay, feedback resistance. Once you've got it, what next? The next thing is you also have the input resistance as 1000. So you are going to have V output divided by V input. So V output you got is equal to like the feedback resistance you got is equal to 10 to the power 3 over J plus 1. So negative 10 to the power 3 divided by J plus 1. Other than that, negative RF over Rin. Rin is basically 10 to the power 3. These two will get cancelled out. You will have the V output is equal to negative of 1 over J plus 1. Along with that, you will have the V input, which is given to you. Now if you will see the V input, it's going to be what? 5 sine 1000 t. But in the options you can see they didn't mention the sign. So you just have to take its maximum value, like the magnitude of it, which is 1. So let's say that's 1. 5 divided by what? You will have here the 5 only from this section and the root 2 from the magnitude of this complex number. So 5 divided by root 2, but that is not present in any option. So if you will multiply and divide by root 2 in that expression in numerator and denominator, it will give you 5 root 2 divided by 2, and that's your option C, which is the correct one. Okay, that's how you are going to solve it, or you are going to get your final answer for any such type of questions. You can tell me if in case there is anybody having any doubt, guys. We can talk about it, but if it is clear, we are going to take the next question. Okay, let's take one formula based question too. It's here. The full scale voltage of an digital to analog converter is V. The resolution that can be achieved in it is. Options are V over 2 to the power n minus 1, V over 2 to the power n plus 1. Next one is V divided by 2 to the power 2n. And option D is V divided by n. So in this case, what you have to find, the full scale voltage of n-bit digital to analog converter is given to you as V, and you have to find the resolution that can be achieved by it. Okay, so basically in this case, guys, your right answer or the formula you can say is option A, because if anytime you will have the full scale voltage given to you and you want to find the resolution, just use the formula given in the option A, and that's gonna give you the final answer for the resolution for the digital to analog converter. Okay, now if in case you are gonna have any question, query or doubt, just let me know, we'll talk about it. But if it's getting clear, that's great. I will be writing the next question. Now I'm going to take a question from atomic and molecular physics. Like, let's try to take as many as we can from different subjects. So here it is, the ground state electronic configuration of 22 titanium is argon 3d2 4s2, which is state in the standard spectroscopic notations is not possible in this configuration. Options are 1f3, 1s0, 1d2, and the next one is 3p0. So basically in this case, what's going to happen, guys, they have given you like the idea about for what you need to find the answer, or you need to check out the spectroscopic notations for this one, but they have simplified it further. They are saying okay, 4s2 and the 3d2. So you know 4s2 means the completely filled, it's not having the space in it, it's completely filled, but d2 will be the last term in that configuration. Okay, so you have to work for d2, not s2. Be careful about that thing. Now once you're going to consider it, let's find all the spectroscopic term notations for this d2, and let's check which one is not possible from the given options. So I'll be using a trick here. For the d orbital sp d0 1 2, L value is 2 and the total number of electrons are 2 there, so 2 times 2, that's 4. So 0 to 4, I'll take all the L values, right? And also if I will talk about the spin, so I have considered it to be this way: odd value odd spin, even value, even spin. So that means 1 and 1 and 0, 0, 0. Now I have to consider the L minus S to L plus S, that's for J. So I'll be writing it once again in the column form, and then it will be making things more clear to you. LSJ. Okay, 2S plus 1 LJ. So what will happen? L is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 0, 0, 0. Then 1, 1. J is equal to what? L minus S to L plus S. 0, 1, 2. 2, 2, 3, 4. 4. And then 2S plus 1. That's going to be 1. L is what? S. And J is what? 0. Then next you will have is 3, P, 0, 1, 2. Next you will have is 1, D, 2. Next you will have is 3, F, 2, 3, 4. Next you will have is, that's going to be 1, and then 2S plus 1 L, that's going to be S, P, D, F, G, and then 4, right? So this is what you are going to consider. Now in this case, what will happen? You have to see from the given options which one you didn't get. So if you will check it out, 1F3, 1S0, 1F3, do you have? No. So that means it is not possible, and that's your option A, which is going to be the correct one. Okay, that's how you are gonna get it. That option A is the correct option. You can tell me if in case still you are gonna have any doubt. We will talk about it. And if everything is clear, that's great. So what we will do now, we are going to consider the another question. We have taken this from the atomic and molecular physics. We are going to have one more question we will take from atomic and molecular physics. Okay, so let's consider it, and then we will go ahead with the more discussion. Let me just write the next question, guys. Okay, I'll be writing the next question here. Let's take this one. That's G-min shift related, but you will surely be getting some idea about the type of questions you can expect. So the G-min shift of the energy of a state burst that's going to be L, S, J, and Mj is the expression for Hz is given to you there, which is Mj mu b b divided by J times J plus 1 L dot J plus Gs S dot J. Next thing is where B is the applied magnetic field Gs is the G factor for the spin and mu b over h is equal to 1.4 megahertz and G inverse, where h is the Planck constant the approximate frequency shift of the S is equal to 0, L is equal to 1 and Mj is equal to 1 state at a magnetic field of 1G is, options are 10 megahertz, 1.4 megahertz, 5 megahertz, and the last one is 2.8 megahertz. So for this one, what we have to do, guys, so basically in this case we are going to have the G-wave shift of the energy of a state with quantum numbers L, Sj and Mj. That's going to be basically for this expression, and rest of the details they have given you. Also, if you will see, mu b over h value is the main thing which is given, along with that the magnetic field, which is 1G. So if you want to consider the frequency shift, that is delta nu, it is going to have the value EB over 4 pi m. So what is the B value here? That's going to be 1G. And what about the expression? If I will write it in terms of mu b over h, I just have to multiply and divide by h. I'll be able to write it as E h squared over 2m b by h. Okay, E h squared over 2m, okay, excuse me, and b by h. So when you are going to consider it, it is nothing but mu b over h. So when it is mu b over h multiplied with b, so what it will give you? Just simply 1.5 times 1, that's going to be, sorry, 1.4 times 1, that's going to be 1.4. So guys, I hope it's going to be clear to everyone. But in case if there is anybody having any doubt, please let me know about it. We can consider that point. But if everything is clear, then that's great. What we will do, we will be keeping it this much today in the session, while we'll be having more important sessions and we'll be doing more important discussion there. So I'm going to show you the slide here, which is regarding the latest offer right now. So if you want to grab it, you can take your subscription, use and apply the code Anjali A Live to get the discount in the total subscription amount and to grab this offer. Also guys, it is just valid till 31st July. So in that case, if you don't want to miss it, you can take your subscription and start your preparation under the guidance of top educators. Along with that, what are the benefits you will be getting if you will take the subscription? I'm going to show you the slide regarding that. So here is the information about the plus, iconic and the light subscription. Even if you will take plus or iconic subscription, the important notes are now available on the learning app. So you will be able to check out the important notes and the well-structured and well-planned courses sessions along with these. So that will be helping you a lot to take your preparation to a very good level. You just have to use and apply the code Anjali A Live to get the discount in the total subscription amount. Also guys, if any of your friends want to take the subscription, share this information with them, let them know about the offer and the referral code, which is Anjali A Live, because anybody has to use and apply this code to get the discount in the total subscription amount. Thank you so much everyone for joining this session and for attending it till the end. Thank you.